Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Our topic today is semantic change. We will start with discussing a number of questions that will help us better understand this topic. So here are the questions for today. The first question is, do languages change? What is semantic change? How often do languages change? What would happen if a language would change every 20 years? Why do languages change? How is language change recognized? How do languages change? What is the branch of linguistics that deals with how languages change called? What aspects of language experience linguistic change? And last but not least, do sign languages change? So I invite you to pause the video for a while and try to think of some answers to these questions. Of course, you could also refer to our class readings for more discussion on these questions. So now we'll go ahead and answer the questions in the following slides. So do languages change? Yes, of course, all living languages change with time, and that's why we're having this class, right? What is semantic change? Semantic change is usually referred to as a shift in the set of appropriate contexts for a specific word's use. So if we think of semantic change in terms of the theory of reference, which we discussed earlier as one theory of word meaning, semantic change could be referred to as a change in the set of reference for a word. That is, a change in the set of objects the word refers to. And we'll see this with examples. So the coming question is, how often do languages change? And what would happen if a language would change every 20 years? So these two questions are related to each other. So the point is, it would be inconvenient to have to relearn our native language every 20 years. So linguistic change is slow. So as years pass, we hardly notice any change. So yes, change does take place, language change does take place, but it's very slow that we hardly notice any change in the language. Or else it will be inconvenient for us to have to learn or relearn the language every once in a while. We had a discussion about this in class before, if you remember last time, and some of you noted that linguistic change has become a bit faster because of technology and the internet and social media and globalization and everything. So this is also a point to ponder and think about, actually. Many language changes are revealed in written records, actually, and this is how we recognize linguistic or language change. So we know a great deal of the history of English because it has been a written language for about 1,000 years. So basically, we could trace linguistic change in written records of the language. Again, I thought of answering this question again. How is language change recognized? As I've just mentioned, it's recognized in the written records of languages, so language change basically happens of any language. So why do languages change? So language changes because it is the result of what's a linguistic phenomena known as language contact, or with technological innovations or migrations to new geographic regions. Semantic changes can also result from changes in the relative status of the set referred to by the word. So how do languages change? So how does language change or semantic change? Of course, we're more concerned with semantic change. So how does language change take place? So changes in the language are changes in the grammar and the lexicon of people who speak the language and are perpetuated as new generations of children acquire the altered language and make further changes. So as time goes by, as new generations learn the new forms of the language, the rather old forms with old meanings kind of fade away. So what is the branch of linguistics that deals with how languages change called? The branch of linguistics that deals with how languages change and what kinds of changes occur and why they occurred is called historical and comparative linguistics. Now, why is it historical? It's historical because it deals with the history of particular languages, and it's comparative because it deals with relations among languages. So what aspects of language experience linguistic change? Do you think it's only semantic change because it's the title of our discussion today, our topic? No, actually all parts of the language or the grammar of the language, all aspects of the grammar are subject to change over the course of time, be it phonological, morphological, syntactic, semantic, they are all subject to change. Now, the last question we have is, do sign languages change? Yes, they also change, just like the spoken languages. American Sign Language, for example, continues to change over time. Not only have new signs entered the language over the past 200 years, but also the forms of the signs have changed in ways similar to spoken languages. Now we'll move to discuss 4 different types of semantic change that are usually recognized. These are semantic extension, semantic reduction, semantic elevations, and semantic degradations. Now, for the purpose of this video, we'll only be discussing semantic extension. The other 3 types will be discussed in a separate video. So what is semantic extension? Semantic extension occurs when the set of appropriate contexts or reference to the theory of reference. So extensions in meaning occur when the set of appropriate contexts or reference for a word increases. Extensions are frequently the result of generalizing from the specific case to the class of which the specific case is a member. So an example is the word doga in Old English, and which is now dog in modern English. So the set of contexts in which the word may be used has been extended from the specific case that's in Old English, and the word used to refer to a particular breed of dog to the general class of dogs. Now, dog refers to all different types of dogs. So here the word doga has experienced semantic extension. Another example is the word bird. So it used once to refer to a particular species of bird. The word now is used for the general class. So now the word bird doesn't just refer to a specific type of birds, but it refers to all types of birds. We could also realize semantic extension in proper names and brand names. So, for example, the name Benedict Arnold has come to be synonymous with the word traitor. We have different names, brand names like Jello, for example, used to refer to any flavored gelatin. Now it refers so it's often used to refer to any flavored gelatin and not just the brand. Also, Kleenex is used for any facial tissue, Xerox for any photocopy. In some parts of the United States, Coke can be used for any carbonated beverage, not just one particular brand. So in each of these cases, as we have discussed, the meaning of the word has been generalized to include a less specific group of items in its set of reference. So basically the reference, the set of reference to which the word refers have extended, as you can see. So the word holiday, another example for semantic extension is the word holiday. It originally meant a day of religious significance, from holy day, but now the word signifies any day on which we do not have to work. So basically the word holiday, as we could see, has experienced semantic extension. Another example is the word picture, which originally meant painted representation. The word now signifies any picture taken by a camera or a cell phone, so it's not necessarily painted. Another example that I think we're all familiar with is the word Facebook. So Facebook as a noun used to, or originally refers to the social networking website, the website itself. Now it's also used as a verb, and this screenshot is taken from the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary. So here Facebook, the verb, refers to it has different meanings. Could mean to send someone a message on Facebook, to publish information on Facebook, or just to spend time using Facebook. So now it's also used as a verb plus the noun. Another aspect of semantic extension is metaphorical extension. So the meanings of words often become less narrow as a result of what's referred to as metaphorical extension. In this sense, the meaning of a word is extended to include an object or a concept that is like the original referent in some metaphorical sense rather than a literal sense. So a classic example of this type is the word broadcast, which originally meant to scatter seed over a field. In its most common present-day usage, however, broadcast refers to the transmission of some sort of program or information via a media outlet of some type. In this sense, there is a metaphorical extension of the original sense of the word. So we could actually think of metaphorical extension with reference to the theory of sense. If you remember, we discussed two theories for word meaning: sense and reference. So for reference, we have the theory, or the theory of semantic extension. But for sense, we could think of the metaphorical extension or metaphorical semantic extension to help us understand this linguistic phenomena. Another example is the word phoneme. So the word originally means to or applies to a minimal unit of form in sign languages. So when the term was first used, it was clearly related to minimal units of sound. But because the linguistic concept of the phoneme is present in sign languages, the term now has been extended and it's used in sign languages. So again, the sense of the word phoneme has expanded, and now it has this metaphorical semantic extension. So to conclude my presentation, I just thought of including examples from ads, because ads are always rich with metaphors. So again, here there is a metaphorical extension of basically comparing how spicy the food is to fire, basically, and we have some words like matafi and al-har to basically illustrate this point. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. As I told you, for the other three types of semantic change, there will be another separate video for that. These are my references. Thank you very much. This brings me to the end of this presentation. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.